Journalist Hangout. You say it's, number one, we insist it's a rendezvous for gentlemen of the media. Welcome. I'm Citizen Jones. Today on the program, PDP pacifies South with Board of Trustees chairman position, passes confidence vote on Ayu, just as Governor Wike insists he has to go. And later on the show, Nigeria risks 1.37 billion or trillion naira oil revenue loss as Pengassan threatens 30-day shutdown. I'm hanging out with Ibinabo Dixon, the proud Rivers girl. I greet you, Ibinabo.
I greet you very much, sir.
Bolaji Tuji, Bolaji, good evening to you.
Good evening.
I haven't seen you in a long time.
Yeah, but I was there. We were not around then.
Okay.
About 2 weeks ago with Jide.
All right then. Judy is unavoidably absent, so the show goes on. Now the team is ready. I hope you are. All right, first we go to England, and you know why. King Charles' Ascension, for 73-year-old King Charles, the first son of Queen Elizabeth II, the British monarch who passed on Thursday at 96, the wait is over. He's the longest king in waiting in British history. And in many ways, Charles had been the first modern heir to the British throne. He got sent off to school rather than being privately tutored at home. He earned a Bachelor of Arts degree at Cambridge. King Charles served in both the Royal Air Force and Navy and was therefore deployed on several warships during the 70s. His public life had been defined by the women he shared it with. At first, Lady Diana Spencer seemed the perfect partner after their wedding became a worldwide media spectacle. Today, at 73, former Prince Charles' father and grandfather is King Charles II. Nobody saw this coming.
No one lives forever. The Queen had, she had a great time on earth. She lived well, she ruled well, and she died in peace, according to what he told us.
Yeah.
So, I mean, she was the longest...
no, 3 scores and 10 years.
Do you get it?
70 years, yeah.
No one is yet to beat that. And I don't see Charles. Charles can't beat that because he's in his 70s already. Who knows, though? Maybe we'll live up to 140.
Yeah, Tuji, King Charles III. I thought I said the second.
Yeah. Yes.
We talk about the women in his life. You remember the current woman now? Camilla.
Parker Bowles.
I heard she's the consort.
Yeah, I think that's about 27 years, 100, and I would say it's going to be about 27 years now.
But leave this mathematics alone. Yeah, Ibinabo, can we look at King Charles III? Mama had grace, panache, and what have you. Mama had it all. But for King Charles, it's a tall order.
It is. However, I just wish that everyone would allow him be himself, because you see, a lot of times we expect, to see a lot of Queen Elizabeth in Prince Charles.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not possible. Irrespective, it's not possible. And then again, to go back to whether her death was expected. I mean, over about a year ago, she had been off and on the hospital. So, and he had already taken charge of a lot of things. Like I read that he stepped in for her at the Easter Maudi service.
So we are looking at King Charles III now.
So I believe that he should be allowed to sit on that throne and do it his own way, without going outside of the norm. But nobody should, I mean, it's not fair comparing two personalities.
There's no basis for it.
I mean, there's no basis. They should allow him be Prince Charles III.
Yeah. Bolaji, the women in King Charles's life.
You see, I'm comfortably satisfied by one fact, and that is he seems to have come of age. He seems to have matured, at 73. Unlike in those days, in those turbulent period when he was married to Lady Diana, before they eventually got separated. It was quite a turbulent period with a lot of things happening, scandals that are there, And with this woman there, Camilla, that was like, a side chick then, was a major problem because that marriage was not an enjoyable one for Princess Diana then. And everybody knew that there was going to be a problem. But with Princess Diana out of the picture now, and the fact that Prince Charles had got married to Camilla, the love of his life, I think he settled down. And you discover that we never had much scandal or anything coming from Prince Charles, except from the issue from the two sons and all those things, So I think he settled down, and I think we should expect something much more matured in his tenure, in his reign, and I think the reality is always built in them, So
yeah, even are you in any way disturbed by the signals we are getting from East Africa? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Queen Elizabeth was a mere 25, 26-year-old when they visited, himself and the husband visited East Africa at the height of the Mau Mau Wahala in the region. Mm.
Well, you see, like he rightly said, plenty water don't pass on that bridge.
But so, wash the bridge away.
So I think he must have taken a lot of, he must have learned a lot from his mom in terms of, conflict resolutions and all that. So he's going to come from a different angle. Mm. Nobody should expect him to do exact same like his mother did. Mm. He should be allowed to be himself. He was brought up to be a prince, and he was brought up to rule a nation, a kingdom. So let's wait and give him the chance to be himself.
Toji, the paparazzi won't allow royalty to behave normally, And you talk about women. Many great men in history had been messed up by their women. Yeah. You remember from your Garden of Eden?
Yeah. Mm. Yeah, but let me still say...
Your Samson and Delilah?
Samson and Delilah, yeah. Mm. But let me still say something. Prince Charles or King Charles.
King Charles III.
Has matured.
Okay.
And I am sure that we've not had any significant scandal attached to him since he got married to Camilla, like I said earlier. And at his age, 73, what is he looking for again? Mm. Is he what is he looking for in a woman? He has his wife, he has his children that are almost a grandfather. So so I don't think women will be a major issue with him right now. And even the ghost of Diana, that one has been buried. Mm. I'm not sure anything is like to come from there. And like I said, he has one thing going for him. He, unlike the mother, and the mother was educated, private tutor was given to them, was educated in the palace with the sister Margaret, that one that died, Mm. He wasn't educated like that. He went out and
to the public school,
mm. and he mixed with people. So that will also come in handy for him in terms of relating with people. And you have seen from the clip we have seen of him, he has this thing about see the respect that people accord to him, see the way they look at him, the adoration and everything. Yeah. People want to touch him, So I think he wouldn't really have much problem in terms of his tenure, his reign as the King of England,
Yeah, even about the paparazzi, the photographers.
They're always there.
Let you be.
They are always there. And I'm sure over the years, he must have learned how to put them at bay and how to handle whatever scandal they might want to, bring up and all that. So I for goodness sakes, 73-year-old man. He has been through a lot. Yeah. He has learned a lot. In fact, his season is ready. It's like the mom deliberately had to live so long for him to garner all that he would need to be on that throne. So he's ready. Yeah. So whatever paparazzi is bringing, I'm sure he can handle them.
Yeah, at 73, yeah.
Yeah, okay. From the journalist Hangout studios, we share the grief of the moment, and we wish Queen Elizabeth II eternal rest, peaceful rest in the bosom of the Lord. All right, to our next story, All right, in politics, being a pacifist means that you must also carry a loaded gun. The bellyache in the opposition People's Democratic Party, PDP, is far from over. Whereas the Rivers State governor and party headache, if you like, Nyesom Wike, insists that the party chairman must resign for there to be peace. The PDP's move to pacify the warring parties in the impasse is seen as a distraction and a charade. In the first place, the National Executive Committee and NEC of the party passed a vote of confidence on the national chairman, Iyorchia Ayu. Second, the chairman of the Board of Trustees, BOT, Jibrin Walid, resigned his position. Third, Governor Aminu Tambuwal, erstwhile chairman of the PDP Governors Forum, quit the position and was replaced by Governor Seyi Makinde of Oyo State. Now, these overtures notwithstanding, Governor Wike insists the war is not yet over. What does he want? Is he being prompted from somewhere else? Bolaji, these are not the best of times.
Yeah, for the
opposition party.
Yes, we can't really say it's the best of time for the PDP, and rather unfortunate. But you see, this is a problem of their own making. If I say that, there's an agreement, though unwritten, but it's an agreement. It's something that's not written.
I hear it's in the party constitution.
Oh, good. Now, and from what people will just say Wike is making trouble, but Wike has a reason to make trouble because this is clearly stated that once the chairman is from the north, the presidential candidate is going to come from the south. And if the presidential candidate is from the south, the chairman comes from the north. You see, or vice versa. And it's rather unfortunate that the chairman came from the north and the presidential candidate is also coming from the north to fight. You see, I recall that in 1993, during the June 12 and the death of Abiola and so, you see, the country was in a major turmoil, and they needed to pacify the south. So you recall that the two parties, the three major parties, AAPP also, PDP, and even the
SDP.
No, not SDP.
No, NRC.
No. After NRC, NRC and Tofa was NRC.
Yeah.
Abiola was SDP. I'm not talking about after that problem.
Impasse, yeah.
Yes, we now had some major parties that contested after when Abubakar took over. Now we had PDP, we have APP, and then we have is it AC then?
Yes, AC, Action Congress.
Exactly. Then
five parties.
Yeah, five parties, but the three major ones that we actually, were those three. And the presidential candidates came from the south. Obasanjo for PDP, for the
Falaye,
yes, from the
SDP.
And, exactly. And then there was another person, I've forgotten the name right now. So you see, because that's what's called fairness. So if you have a candidate of the party coming from the north, the chairman goes to the south. And if the chairman is going to the north, the presidential candidate has to come to, and that's what Wike is fighting for. And he even said that when he lost, Atiku came to him and said that, look, this man is going to go. I will go. So what might change? Even how you said that you told him that if the candidate comes from the north,
he was going to step down.
So why are they not following through with what they have said? And that is what Wike is fighting for. I think Wike has the cause to fight for what he's fighting for, because he said something which I read shortly before I even got here, that look, if they are going to make any decision, if they are taking any decision, the PD is taking any decision, will the decision be taken by the party chairman and the party candidate, assuming he won the election as the president. They are not going to be telling the BOT chairman to come and, that they have used to assuage the South. So what are they not talking about? He has a cause for what he's fighting for.
Ibn Abbas, so the underlining word, the principal word here is pacifism. It would appear they are trying to pacify the South. And pacifism in politics is inelastic.
Mm-hmm. You see, my word of advice to the party, your strategies and your choices should not keep, evolving like a kaleidoscope. You are like that. Tomorrow you come like that. It's like they are playing pranks, and it is not good for them, because very soon, by September 28th, the window of campaign opens. Yeah. So we don't. Today's night. Yeah. Time is against them. See, and then this person they have issues with. You see, we have the article, like some people say, we have the article camp and the Wike camp. You cannot discountenance Wike. Rivers State is one of the largest in terms of voting. And of course, Wike still has some powers to wield in other states too. So what are we talking about?
And he has a deep purse.
Exactly. Everything. He has everything at his disposal to play with. So I'm not saying that if he is demanding for what is not right, they should oblige him because of A, B, C, and D. But for crying out loud, there were promises made. If you cannot keep your words within your party, how then do we trust you with a country of 200 million people?
Yeah.
So it's imperative that they quickly solve this problem. It's very ugly, and it is fast becoming hydra-headed. They better solve it before it sinks the party.
Bolaji, before we came on, I floated this idea of some folks seeing Governor Wike as a bad loser. But I counteracted it with this position. If the presidential flag bearer of the party had come from the South and he behaved like this, would you not have said the man was looking for something else?
Yes, it is. You see, they gave him that armor. They gave him the gun and the bullet to fight the battle he's fighting.
Is it deliberate?
No, it's not deliberate. But you see, it's about ambition and the fact that our self-interest here. Ambition on the part of those who want to contest for the presidency of this country, and their self-interest that, look, I don't want to leave this seat as chairman. Because if it's about serving the people, and you believe that this is what is going to bring peace, what stops a chairman from resigning? What stops him from resigning? I say, okay, let's put
the chairman had said to you he was elected for a 4-year term, so he cannot abdicate.
You see, that's the problem. You see, there's always this saying that the woman that did the pencil also did the eraser. And you see, rules are not made for men, but men are not made for rules, but rules are,
And rules were meant to be broken.
They are not no, but it could be amended. It's not to bring peace.
Exactly.
It's not to bring peace. You see, but it's just one for the APC, because let them continue with that. And for APC will be just celebrating and be happy that the problem is seems to be.
Ibn Abba would tell you it does not work that way in politics. That because the main opposition party is troubled, it should be a plus for the other parties. No, it doesn't say so. I may be wrong.
Well, not in all cases, but I remember the case of Otedola.
Yes.
When there were issues, inter-party issues. And this
intra-party wahala.
Yes. And this became a very favorable one for Otedola, and he became governor. Yes. So you see, sometimes when people get angry and they feel that this party, I can't trust you, but I have to vote. So what do? They look for the next best, the next preferred. Yeah. So do you, as a PDP party member, want your people who have voted for you to look for the next preferred party? Because if you don't resolve this, attend to the people who are disgruntled in the party.
Sorry, even about company. Elijah is reaching us from Maiduguri. Good evening to you, Elijah. Are you there, Elijah? Okay, we don't seem to be linking up with Elijah. Yeah, go on.
So that is it. you cannot, see, honestly, you cannot afford to discountenance Wike. People say, I've said a lot of things, he's a talkative, he's this, whatever you claim he is.
Some think he's
There
something of a gadfly.
Like he was coming up with a maxim. Let me come to another axiom. They say the water hyacinth dancing on top of the water. Something is beating the drum for it underneath. So why is he
difficult,
adamant? Why is he persistent on what he is demanding for? Because somebody made a promise and you're not keeping to your promise.
Is it necessarily true? I don't know if to add in Africa that in politics there's no honor. No honor.
Not when it is going to jeopardize the core reason for that party. Because election is around the corner. Very soon, this year will run out. We'll enter into another year. And in a few weeks into that year, elections. So what are you doing now? They are wasting time. And it is, see, we might think it may not work for other parties. If they continue like this, somebody else's prayers will just be answered. And that is it.
And Bolaji, at that point, there'll be no question of, I was robbed.
No, there won't be, because the problem will be of their own making if they don't really solve their problem. You see, she was talking to the issue, referred to the issue of our Taylor. I remember that it was a contest between Sarumi and Agbala Jobi.
Yes.
Yes. And when none of them was really
wanted to step down.
This Taylor came in and eventually became governor. If PDP doesn't really solve their problem, it's going to affect the chances.
The problem might solve the PDP.
The problem will solve the PDP, you understand, because as it is going now, they are wasting precious time on what should be strategies that will help them in the election, which they are not focusing on. With the BAM, with the meeting of Thursday, was it on Thursday? The meeting that I had on Thursday, yeah, which they try to rob the problem with. You see, it didn't work because
so let's break it down. So you think Senator Wakil stepping down is not BAM enough?
It's not. That's what the protagonist here, or let me say the antagonist, Wike here, is saying that's not it. That even if you stepped down, it's not going to help the situation, because those who are making decisions are not the chairman of the board of trustees, but the president
and the
chairman
of the party,
and the flag bearer.
Exactly. So who's not going to speak for the South? Who will not speak for the South? And that's what he's fighting for. Even if it's because people, maybe he's a bad loser, but for God's sake, there's a reason for what he's doing. He has a cause for what is justified.
Even about, you look at it. The Southwest, since 1999, had never produced chairman of the party. And you're wondering if something changed, Nko.
You understand? Honestly, I don't, sometimes you just hear or see people playing against themselves. And at the end of the day, you will lose. Because a house divided against itself can never stand.
But in politics, these things are not casting iron. Ibn Abosori, Ola Inka has reached us from Port Harcourt. Inka, good evening to you.
Okay.
Good evening. No luck. Please keep trying. Yeah, so
that is it. Things fall apart. The center cannot hold. You want the center to hold, then don't let things fall apart. Right now, they can still salvage everything.
But I keep talking about what Napoleon Bonaparte said. It comes to mind here. He says, in politics, stupidity is not a weakness.
Well, who is stupid here? We don't.
I mean, the way I understand the word stupid as a loose term.
Yes, I know. I understand. You see, this problem they have here is very solvable. You made a promise that should the candidate emerge from the north, then you are going to, the chairman must emerge from the south. So it is as simple as it is. Play by the rule, play by the book. Why, like Reti said, for the past so long, they haven't had a chairman from the South. Isn't that enough nudge?
From the Southwest.
Southwest. Isn't that enough nudge for them to look inwards and tell themselves, okay, we need to, answer to Wike's demands.
Is it too late in the day?
It's not too late. It's not too late as he's talking. It's not too late. But if they keep holding on to this till 28, nobody wants to listen to them again. And that's the truth.
It will become like a broken record.
Yeah. You see?
So just a minute. We'll go on a short break. We'll be back, but please stay with us.
The federal government, through the National Primary Healthcare Development Agency, announces the availability of COVID-19 and childhood vaccines nationwide. With the disturbing increase in reported cases of COVID-19 infections across Nigeria, protect yourself and loved ones from the harmful virus by getting vaccinated. Visit the nearest public or private health facility and mass vaccination sites today to receive the first, second, or booster doses of COVID-19 vaccines. COVID-19 vaccines are given to persons 18 years and above, including pregnant women and breastfeeding mothers, while childhood vaccines are given to children from birth to 5 years for protection against polio, hepatitis, yellow fever, measles, meningitis, and other vaccines-preventable diseases. All vaccines are free, safe, and effective. For inquiries, visit www.nphcda.gov.ng or call 0700-220-1122.
This message is from NPHCDA in partnership with the Center for Democracy and Development, CDD, with support from MacArthur Foundation.
Let's hear it from the brand builders, brand enthusiasts, brand promoters, and brand heroes. The 2022 edition of Marketing Edge Awards and Marketing Summit honors outstanding marketing professionals at a 2-in-1 epoch-making event, which holds on Friday, September 16th, 2022. Guest speakers at the Marketing Summit, Mrs. Tolulope Adedeji, Marketing Director and Board Member, AB InBev West Africa, and Mr. Emeka Okeke, Founder and CEO, Media Fuse Densu. Special guest of honor and keynote speaker at the award night, Lagos State Governor, Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu. Special guest of honor, Executive Governor of Ogun State, Prince Dapo Abiodun, who will also deliver the opening remarks at the event. Venue, Harbour Point Hall, Victoria Island. Time, 5 p.m. prompt. Attendance is strictly by invitation. Marketing Edge, promoting the brand idea.
Showing up in style inspires great confidence. IVM G5T appeals to class.
Time is of the essence. With IVM Kappa, business and meetings are always on the go.
Fun time with the family. Thank you to IVM Kingdom. IVM Carries always stealing the show. Isn't she beautiful? Influence defines a great leader. IVM Seriki is Africa's commute king. Strong, reliable, and durable. With the concept of regionalization, Innocent Vehicle is committed to satisfying its customers with producing their everyday dream cars.
IVM, pride of African roots.
All right, folks, welcome back. Of course, we're discussing the distemper in the major opposition party, the PDP. Politics, we're told by Niccolo Machiavelli, the Italian political theorist, politics have no relationship to morals. Balaji, but politics is the art of controlling your environment, and it is driven mainly by interest.
Yeah.
Do you see an unseen hand somewhere? More like the voice of Esau, hand of Jacob?
It's very much possible, because in Nigeria, you can't, anything is very much possible. You see, today, Wike is a bride that everybody is interested in. for so many reasons. He has the population of River State, that's, and apart from that, he has a deep pocket, and these are very essential things in politics. It's personal money, but he's in charge of
he keeps the purse
exactly
of River State.
Yes. So even if nobody is even pushing him, he's a bride that everybody will want to woo. The PDP will want to woo him because of what they stand to gain, the party stand to gain, and even the APC, because the loss of the PDP will be the gain for APC itself as a party. Or Labour Party. You understand? But as it is now, we don't know whether, although he made an accusation, he came saying an accusation that there's someone in the presidency that is pushing what's happening now.
Pressing the button.
Yes, pressing the button. It is possible.
That they have shared positions and so.
They have shared position. And these are the things he's fighting for. That look, who is going to speak for the South? Assuming it was PDP that won that election in 2023. Who will speak for the South? Because you have the president coming from the North, we have the chairman coming from the North. So who's going to talk for the South? And he has his reason,
Even I asked the question because in the past how many weeks now, he's been flirting with politicians of different camps. Rightly or wrongly.
Take it or leave it. Wike is a gladiator when it comes to Nigerian politics. And of course, everyone wants to have him in their camp. However, what I see Wike doing here is, don't lose me. Hold on to, that's what he's telling PDP. Because he has the numbers, he has the money. Whether it's his money, whether his pocket is deep because of the state's purse, he has the resources. So, for me, I would advise that PDP backtrack and re-strategize and look at how do you pacify those who are disgruntled. Because now we are seeing the face of Wike, but he has his followers. And they are all very formidable.
But look at the logic. If the PDP at this time elects to change who the flag bearer is, who came number 2?
It's Wike. But I don't see that one happening, actually.
Okay.
I don't see that one happening. What I think is likely to happen, because Atiku is not likely to relinquish that hold. I think this is probably going to be his last chance for that to contest us.
Is it too late to even consider that?
Exactly.
It's too late.
So I think where the issue is coming is that chairmanship position. And even if you are trying to pacify, if you want Wike to, you want him to support, to toe the line, what are you offering him? What are you offering him?
That is worth it.
Because
to him, it's like the BOT is not worth it.
It's not exactly.
Look, do you think in your heart of hearts that Wike is thinking of himself post-2023?
Well, even if he's doing that, even if he's thinking about himself, what capacity, I'm sure he's not asking that they should make him the chairman of PDP. He probably would want to put someone there, even if it was considered to the South, So, but if the fact is that once you see why Wike is strong today is because he's still governor of River State. He immediately leaves that seat. The influence, the power is going to go down.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I hear Anada is joining us from Jos Plateau State. Ada, good evening to you. Good evening to you.
Good evening. Journalist Hangout. It's Ada calling from Jos Plateau State.
Welcome, ma'am.
You see, this problem of PDP, what I don't like is this idea of playing politics without principles. Last year, October, I heard the chairman, he said it on national television, we all heard him. He said that if the presidential flag bearer of PDP, since they decided to throw it open, because if you go by their whatever they call it, it's not supposed to go to the north, but they now decided to throw it open. Then they now agree that if it comes from the north, then the chairman will come from the south. So that was on that note. So when Ayo came up now, then Ayo himself now said he will resign. So this idea of he's saying now that he has a 4-year mandate, it's not that here nor there. And then I blame their flag bearer, Atiku, knowing that he has gone into this race for more than 3 times now. He's the one that's supposed to solve this issue. But you can see the reaction of the neck. I think it was a gang up, Maybe I don't know what went behind the scene. So it's ridiculous.
Okay.
After calling them children and boys.
Thank you, Sister Ada. Thank you, Sister Ada. We got you first time. Ibenabo, Ross Perot, the great American politician, said war has rules, wrestling has rules, boxing has rules, but politics seems not to have rules, just as Ada said now.
You see, we have gone past those days where you become ruthless when it comes to politics. People are watching, and people are so expectant that you can't afford to come across as someone who lacks integrity. And that is what is playing out here. From what everybody is saying, it is obvious that there were promises made. You made a commitment.
But have you thought about it? There are 2 key principles here, 2 key things. One, the chairman must go according to Wiki. And a northerner should not be the flag bearer of the party.
I want to believe that, by now, everyone is sympathetic with, or those who are sympathetic with Wiki, they base it on the fact that Iyorchia Ayu and the party agreed that if a candidate emerged from the north, then the chairmanship should come from the south. So I feel if they could play it that way, it will go a long way to douse all of this.
Yeah, tension.
All
right, there's so much tension in the land. Chuks is reaching us from Ondo. Chuks, good evening to you. Welcome. Brother Chuks, are you there?
Hello?
Yeah, go on, Chuks.
I should go on.
Let's have you.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, go on. Time.
Good evening. Yes, I'm there. Yes, my contribution is that Atiku normally says he's a unifier. Atiku says he's a unifier. Yes, so if Atiku cannot unify his party, how can he unify Nigeria?
Good question. Chuks, if you ask me now, who I go ask? All right, thank you, Chuks.
Yes, you see, I want to say something slightly, and that is, there's no human endeavor that doesn't have rules. Even the creation of God, there are rules. That's why you have day and we have night. You understand? Everything, and when there's a disruption in the rules, there's always a problem. There are rules in politics. It is only the people that are practicing it that are not following those rules, that are bending the rules. There are rules. The rules, it's stated clearly for fairness, for equity, that look, let's do this thing this way so that everybody will have a sense of belonging. Yeah. The North produces the president, the South produces the
party chairman.
Exactly. It's a rule. It's a convention that if are all accepted, have adopted, one way or the other.
What we call gentleman's agreement.
Exactly. Now, if that is the case, why are they not following it? So there are rules. It's only because selfish interest, personal interest. That's why people are not following all these rules.
I at this point, I must quote another great man of the past, Mao Zedong. You remember him?
Yeah.
The chairman Mao. He said, politics is war without bloodshed, and war is politics with bloodshed. Yeah. So we are facing a war of sorts. I just hope the PDP can meet at a common ground for the sake of Nigeria and Nigerians. Enough is enough. And to Governor Wike, if you are a man of peace, which you want me to believe, then let's do something, because I'm sure you can do something. All right, to our next story. You know, the anomy, or what you call social instability in our land, like the Ides of March, are not yet gone. Members of the Petroleum and Natural Gas Senior Staff Association of Nigeria, PENGASAN, have threatened to shut down oil production in Nigeria for 30 days. Protests were staged in Abuja, Warri, and Kaduna, plus Port Harcourt. They want the federal government to curb the lingering massive oil theft in the Niger Delta. If the threat is implemented, we run the risk of losing 1.3 trillion naira from non-production of crude oil, a major foreign exchange earner for the country. But can we afford this at this time?
We cannot afford it. We are already beaten and battered.
What can we afford?
You know, when you have a problem, you begin to look at how best to solve it, not to further compound the problem. And I quite understand the stance of PENGASAN. Now, you are losing millions of barrels to thieves. And it's not as if this, let's take for instance, those who vandalize the pipelines. We have security operatives watching over these places. So, you know, at the end of the day, you hear that they are, to steal oil, humongous volume of oil, it's not child's play.
In fact, the NNPC says it loses 1.9 billion.
It's a lot.
Day.
So who has been held responsible so far? Because you see, a lot of times, what we see in Nigeria is people continue to err and they don't get to face the music until we begin to punish those who err. I will say this over and over. We won't get over these things. And we don't want Nigeria to be grounded. Because the economy is so poor. You go to the market and you want to buy items. And you begin to ask yourself, okay, how much did money drop from my purse? That is how bad it has become. So we can't afford to have this one.
Sometimes you think you've lost some money.
Do you understand? So there is need for the government. And incidentally, Mr. President is the Minister
of Oil, Petroleum Resources.
Exactly. And he's the Commander-in-Chief. So it's like everything is at his table. So what are you doing about it? Security is there. You are the minister for this. So what exactly are you putting in?
The president is the clearinghouse.
He is. So at the end of the day, what I'm looking at is, irrespective of whatever the government is doing, until we see solution to this problem, then it's that they're not doing anything. So there is need to stop this. People, and they're not ordinary people, because to break into a pipeline takes a lot of...
You know, the pipelines are buried deep into the soil.
Exactly. So no ordinary person will just go and do this. These are people, they know how to drill through the pipe.
Essentially, oil thieves are not like unknown gunmen.
Exactly. So
if you get what I mean.
I do. So what are we doing as a government to make sure that we are able to put a stop to this? What are we doing?
Bolaji, you pour oil on troubled waters. What do you possibly pour on troubled oil?
Just let the oil flow.
Okay.
But let me say something. You see, PENGASAN is a very powerful organization, powerful union. With its sister organization, that's NOPENG. When you look at the antecedents, you know that they can make or mar a country. We saw what happened during the 1993 election when they went on strike and the entire country was paralyzed.
Grounded,
yeah. And I recall that during that period, Abacha, that was the president then, had to go and buy, with 3 MPs, had to go and buy truck to be transporting fuel all over the country. But you see, we ask ourselves, what are they fighting for? They are fighting against oil theft. That is, you know, I recall that the chairman was saying that 95% of oil that is pumped is stolen. 95%. That it got to a level that even the NNPC is not able to meet the OPEC quota. Yes, our quota is 1.8 million barrels per day.
I think we are hardly producing 1.3.
Exactly, about 1 million barrels per day. That's what we are. We have not even to satisfy the quota of OPEC that was given to us, which would have generated more funds for us. Unfortunately, why is this so? Because they are vandalizing the pipes, they are removing this oil, so people are stealing this oil.
Do you remember last week, the Customs Comptroller General was before the House of Reps, and he was saying, up till now, we cannot determine how many million liters we consume daily. When the NNPC says it is 60 million liters, but the Comptroller boss, Customs boss is saying about 98 million liters. So where do the 38 million liters go every blessed day?
You see, it's rather unfortunate. That is the problem. You see, we are not ready to tackle our problem in this country yet. And the reason why I say this is this. You see, people are just not doing the right thing. We are, you know, we are saying we are fighting corruption. But those who are engaged in oil bunkering, they are just not ordinary person on the street. They are not just any river. Even those who are vandalizing pipes, they are just not anybody. It's not as if they are not unknown to people. If we are really interested in fighting this corruption, we're interested in making this country a better place, we know what we should do. Yeah. Why should we have a situation? And it's very good for us, because if someone is telling us this one and the other one is telling us this, and we know that there's something wrong. The customer is saying, this is what is the situation. You are, the NFP is saying, which means they don't even have the information.
The customs man said he was not talking about smuggling, because 38 million liters, how many trucks do you need to fill them with? Even about we're in deep trouble here. If Pengasan, I don't know when the 30 days will commence. I don't know. Otherwise, Nigerians are indulged in panic buying now. Store fuel for 30 days? No, come on. Come on.
See, fighting criminality calls for a strong, unwavering political will. Do we have it? Do we have it? Now, recall there was this particular tanker.
Super tanker.
Exactly. That was apparently somewhere in Guinea.
Equatorial Guinea.
Exactly. That is humongous. How? And it's not something you do in a few minutes.
No.
So who are the people that were supposed to man that particular place where this oil theft took place?
And to fill the tanker takes a month, unbroken.
So are they saying that for the stretch of 30 days, nobody was there?
No vex, no kill me questions, I beg. Meshach is reaching us from Abuja. Meshach, good evening to you.
Yeah, good evening, sir. How are you?
I'm fine, and you?
Fine, thank you, sir.
Okay then, go on.
Yeah, I overheard you talking about the internal wranglings of PDP. And on a quick note, I just want to draw your attention to look at the current APC leadership, where the chairman is from the north and the president himself is from the north, despite the fact that
Meshach, except that there are 4 major functions of the media. One of it is agenda setting. You don't set agenda for us. Because, gentlemen, you cannot say that the trouble in the main opposition party is not big enough to talk about. It's not that we do not, come on, we talk about it when the APC shoots itself in the foot.
Even. Yes.
But we're talking about the theft of Nigeria's crude oil. Pengasan, if you heard me, is spoiling for a 30-day shutdown. For 30 days, we are not going to produce crude oil. And Ibn Abo and Bolaji, both of you know that Russia invaded Ukraine over 6 months now. The 13 OPEC oil-producing countries are making money, excepting us. And it does not bother anybody.
You know, I like the fact that Pengasan, they came up with a solution, a temporary solution that, okay, whoever you're going to deploy to those places to watch over the pipeline and all, that there should be a KPI. We do not apply such a lot in Nigeria, your key performance index. That tells your boss whether you have done well or not. So I think at this point, it has become necessary for Mr. President to apply it. So that when you deploy some persons, some operatives to some places, and we continue to have these stories, then they should answer to what is going on. Why is it happening? This is not done. I mean, the people stealing this oil are not ghosts. They are human beings. And it takes...
They live amongst us.
Do you understand? And it takes a stretch of time to do it. So who is looking the other way while they are stealing our oil? They should be called to book.
And for Bolaji, for Pengasan to make this as its the major thrust of its threat means they know the problem can be stemmed.
Yeah, I agree. Because there's, excuse me, you see, they have no choice. Because from what they said, this is also affecting them, their members. It's affecting their jobs. And it's affecting even the welfare of their members. You see, because most of these companies that are supposed to be producing this crude oil, Shell, you know, they are relocated, they've stopped work. And automatically, once they stop work, they sack the workers. So it is also in their best interest to ensure that government solves this problem. If not, there's going to be a lot of people losing their jobs. You understand? Excuse me. So it is important, it is imperative for government to step in here. But you see, when they post people to these places.
Yeah, sorry, Bolaji. We have a Julius waiting patiently in Malaysia. Julius, good evening. Welcome.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, good evening. Oh,
yes, it is.
Oh, Valencia is in Spain. Okay, yes, welcome. Sir. Welcome.
You see, the problem in Nigeria oil industry is so big that the Nigerian government we need overhauling. An insider once told me that the reason that the NFPC cannot sack their workers and they are still there is because, so they are still, because they do everything that they still refine oil, load it and bring it down to Lagos. And Nigerians pay for export for everything there. So the problem, I don't know who will solve it for us. We just have to pray. Imagine refining oil in Nigeria. The Nigerian will have to pay as if the oil was refined abroad. And we pay the workers. And we pay for selling it, pay for bringing it back, pay for
thank you, Julius.
Everything.
Many thanks, Julius. Here we go again. At a time like this, you are struggling for what to say, you know. We're an oil-producing country since 1956 through to now. Our troubles had always been oil theft. So many governments have, and the problem didn't start day before yesterday and may not end tomorrow. So we can't afford 30 days of Pengasan downing tools.
I want to believe that the governments probably they are already
doing
looking
something.
Yes, they are already looking into it, because it will not be funny if should they embark on this 30-day strike. Because see what we suffer when there is fuel scarcity. So we don't want to go there. We don't want it at all. And I will always say it, the problems we have in Nigeria is man-made.
Yeah.
And they are solvable. But are we deliberate about it? Do we have the intention, the political will to solve this problem? Is a question. We can solve these problems.
All right, we must go, gentlemen, but not before reminding us that we don't need a PDP answer, APC answer, or Labour Party answer. We need Nigerian answers to Nigeria's problems because they are man-made. Yeah. We're out of here, out of time, so I must thank Bolaji Tunji for coming.
Thank you very much.
No less so Ibinabo Dixon. Many thanks for your time.
Always good to be here.
All right, that will just about do it for the program this evening. If you missed any part of it, join us at 11 later tonight for a late edition. And on Sunday from 1:30 when we have an expanded version for you. We are also on YouTube at youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. I'm Citizen Jones Hussein. Bye-bye now.